have do you think that the failures in recent years of super teams, with the exception of Boston, which I'm not a fan of putting the super team label on Boston because they were completely built. But with the failures of super teams, do you think the league is finally going to start moving past super teams and start building in a way that is more depth focused? Going back to
clarify Boston. What Boston are you talking about? You're talking about the one with KG?
No, I'm talking about the current Celtics. I think the current Celtics definitionally are a super team, but I don't want to attach that label to them because they're entirely built with the exception of veteran signings or the six-man Malcolm Brogdon. Everyone else on that team was drafted by that team.
So I think the reason... So I guess we're going to go back in history. The super team trend started when Boston's original big three of KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen was made. They made it to the finals, and then LeBron left Cleveland. You can argue whether it's Boston or whether it's Miami, but LeBron left Cleveland to join Miami to beat that Boston team. So I think the problem with super teams now, as opposed to when KG did it, when LeBron did it, is you have a wider variety of talent in the league. And I don't necessarily think there is one singular player as dominant as LeBron was in that little 10-year stretch after he joined Miami to dominate a whole conference with another superstar tied to him. Because that's really what you're saying. When you invest all that money into those two or three players, you're saying, you two guys are the system.
Right.
So, I don't think it's going to be possible unless Victor is this transcendent player that is so dominant that no one's going to be able to figure him out. Which, I mean, that's possible, but unless we get a player like that, until we see our next LeBron, I don't think we're going to see super teams. And even when we do get our next LeBron, I think it's going to be a lot for that player to dominate, especially with the influx of young talent that we've been getting. I think the league is too flooded with talent at this point.
I think that we're at a time of ultimate parity. I think this is the most even the field has been in the NBA since...
But why is the field even?
I think teams are drafting better. I think teams are developing better. And I think players are shying away from forming super teams.
But, okay, why are they doing that, though? They're doing that because there's more talent, and it's harder for a super team to get created and dominate. That's why you make the super team. You make the super team to make the finals.
Right. But we've seen that fail repeatedly in recent seasons.
Yeah.
We've seen that fail repeatedly in history.
There was a few, we saw it with the Heatles, we saw it with Golden State.
Well, I was talking more before that, like when Karl Malone joined the Lakers. I mean,
those are players at the end of their prime and at the end of their career. That really doesn't count. I know
the modern super team is completely different from really anything else we've seen, because it's not like top 20 players teaming up. It was top 10, top 5 players. Because when the Heatles formed and really started, because I don't think the KG Celtics were the start of super teams, because they were all late prime players with the exception of Rondo. But when the Heatles formed, you were taking two of the top 2 players in the league at the time and putting them on a team together, taking pay cuts. That's a little different, but that was a very long tangent. So, Adam, what is your second disappointment.